Uncle George, remind me why the White House is white.
War of 1812. British soldiers put the executive branch to torch, and later they had to paint the walls white to cover up the burn marks.
Get your ass up! We gotta get out of here now!
There's a lot of American history we aren't taught in school, and I think that American history is an important story to tell.
Bad tip in the guidebook gets someone killed.
Even though it's set in the 1950s, it was important to make this show timeless.
Any of you all know what a sundown town is?
Yes, sir, we do.
And so our fictional world bleeds into reality. Sundown towns, that's not something we made up, that's true. When we're discussing how to set up our series, I always say, you have to live in it. And so recreating Gordon Parks' pictures was an honor. It was chilling on set to think about it. Looking at images from the time felt resonant to the moment that we're in as well as the show that we're creating. In Lovecraft Country, we talk a lot about the genre and how it's a metaphor for racism. And so bringing in the historical references as a Black person, that's a horror story. Jim Crow was everywhere.
Lunacy, anarchy, now restless souls trapped in my house.
This was not one place, one time, one person. Racism was all over America.
Bubba, it's your turn.
Will I have a good time on my trip?
So it was about placing things where you can go and research and learn more if you want to. Another layer to it was the American dream, saying that anybody can come here and make something of themselves, and that's not necessarily true.
There are 103 employees at that damn department store, and 2 of them are never gonna be colored.
This was a real time in history. And so all the references to the real life people at the time, Baldwin, MLK.
What's your name?
Baldwin. Hey, you're a novelist too? I'm James.
I'm Ruby.
You heard about that newcomer preacher that's supposed to jumpstart the movement, right?
Michael, right?
He's going by Martin now.
That's what I like about having people float in and out of the show, is this idea that they were there. And so in the episode about Hippolyta, we wanted her to find herself among other women at the time who were paving ways.
Salut.
Salut.
I am Hippolyta!
From the beginning, in Lovecraft Country, I wanted to do something different.
This story is about a secret birthright that's been kept from us.
And so all the references felt like a nice little bow.
Come on!
What I was hoping to achieve with this show was for people to start a conversation. We're talking, we're feeling something. I go to television for this long-form discussion on what it means to be human.
The show is a fun ride for everybody. Audiences have been given something to think about.
You want us to tell them that wizards exist? That white folks got magic on their side too?
I'm grateful to be able to tell these stories because unfortunately, they're still relevant.
I don't know what is more difficult, being colored or being a woman.
It almost feels like nothing has changed.
It's good, the conversations that the show are bringing up, people are willing to have, because until we acknowledge the racism that runs through this country, it's never going to change.
Letitia Lewis, quite a record here.
Lovecraft Country was an opportunity to really bring people of color to the front of genre pieces. We do not see people of color being the leads in things like this.
This magic that's haunting us, testing us.
It was nice to be able to tell a story in that space and for that story to reflect more of the world than just one corner. I hope that Lovecraft Country inspires diversity.
I want you to feel what I feel right now.
I was excited for people to be surprised by the show. I want people to always be on a roller coaster and never knowing where it's turning. We all need our imaginations open to what we can be.
To see these stories reflected in such a powerful narrative feels like I'm a part of something incredibly special.
I gotta face this new world and stake my claim in it.
This legacy belongs to our family.